Right now. Let's get some insight. We're joined once again by Democratic Congressman Adam Schiff from Burbank. He represents the 28th District. He's the chair of the House Intelligence Committee by trade. He's an attorney who graduated from Stanford University and Harvard Law School. Not bad there. We've done the math, Congressman. This is your 10th appearance on our show, the first politician in double digits. Thanks for coming on since our very first show. We appreciate the loyalty. Welcome back to The Issue Is.
Great to be with you.
All right, so on the congressional negotiations for relief, there's so much need for relief. Where are we at in terms of actually getting something done?
Well, I thought we were very close on a bipartisan basis in the Senate. A number of Republicans and Democrats got together and hammered out a deal that would provide a lot less aid than I would like to see, but nonetheless a sound compromise. I support it. The Democratic leadership in the House supports it. But Mitch McConnell threw cold water on that yesterday for reasons that are difficult to understand given the pressing need right now. So that's thrown us into disarray because I thought we had a pretty darn good bipartisan compromise. And I hope that we can persuade Mitch McConnell to get on board and get help to the American people, because we're in a dire situation, as you point out. People need the help. Businesses are going to close potentially for good if they don't get it right now. Unemployment compensation is running out. So this has to get done. I'm at the office, as you can see. I'm going to do everything I can. I don't think anybody should leave town until this is done.
So what would a potential deal actually look like? What specifically would that mean for your constituents that are watching?
Well, it would mean for constituents who are running out of unemployment compensation or already run out, that they would get more unemployment compensation for the duration until they can get back to work. It would mean, I hope, that we can provide help to renters to keep a roof over their head. It would mean replenishing the PPP funds for small businesses so that small businesses can weather this storm, so many of whom are just not able to do business right now. And it would also mean that we would provide help to states and cities so they don't have to do massive layoffs of teachers and police and firefighters. And perhaps most significantly, as we go to roll out this vaccine, we're going to need the help of the states and local governments to vaccinate people. So that's, I think, generally what these packages would do.
What do you say to people that say it is outrageous that Congress has not gotten something done yet on this?
Oh, I completely agree. And in the House, we passed legislation 6 months ago to get this done. It sat on Mitch McConnell's desk for almost half a year. Now, many of us on a bipartisan basis have come to agreement, but Mitch McConnell is holding it up. So I completely understand the frustration. I think they need to weigh in all over the country with Mr. McConnell, let him know people are suffering, and he needs to, if he can't be constructive, he needs to get out of the way.
Of course, a lot of the Republicans put the blame on Nancy Pelosi during all of this, but I think what this is also proof of is that those elections in Georgia matter even more in terms of how business is going to get done. There's a big difference between Chuck Schumer leading the Senate or Mitch McConnell leading the Senate as well. All right, let's talk for a moment about what you're leading.
Can I mention on that, Alex, too? Because, you're right, Republicans blame the Speaker, but the Speaker is in accord with moving forward with the Senate compromise, which is bipartisan. So it's hard to lay that at the hands of the Speaker when she's saying, let's move forward, and that's being rejected by Mitch McConnell.
All right, let's talk for a moment about the House Intelligence Committee, which you will continue to lead. Of course, you've done that during the Trump administration, got a whole lot of attention for that. Now you're going to be doing it during the Biden administration. How does that role, how does the committee work change with this new president?
Well, part of what we've been doing over the last couple of years, in addition to the very high-profile investigative work, is we did a 2-year deep dive on China and what it will take for our intelligence agencies to reorient themselves to that rising challenge. So much of our resources have been directed to the terrorism threat, which continues, but we really need to address the challenge posed by China in space, on land, in the cyber realm and technology. And that's going to require really turning this aircraft carrier around and making sure that we're prepared to meet that rise. But it also means we need to continue examination of our relationship with the Gulf nations, and make sure that with respect to our theaters of war in Afghanistan and Iraq, as we draw down our troops, that we nonetheless have the intelligence we need to protect the country and keep it safe.
Now, speaking of China, your committee in the news this week, we found out that a Chinese spy named Fang was apparently targeting California Congressman Elex Swalwell, forged a professional relationship with him. When the FBI warned him, he cut off ties with her immediately. He is not accused of any wrongdoing. Yet the House Minority Leader, Kevin McCarthy of Bakersfield, said this week on Fox and Friends.
This man should not be in the Intel Committee. He's jeopardizing national security. What is being said in those meetings inside the Schiff that we don't want other people to hear or listen? You can't.
He criticized you in that interview as well. What's your response to Congressman McCarthy and to the bigger question about members of your committee apparently being targeted by China?
Well, there are members of Congress in both House and Senate who have been targeted by China. And on a bipartisan basis, we're notified when that happens. So all the faux outrage about this is nothing more than faux outrage. We were informed, whenever there's a member that's the subject of these kind of approaches. And as your report makes clear, Mr. Swalwell did everything right. There was no suggestion of any impropriety on his part. But I will say this in terms of Mr. McCarthy, what he's trying to do is really deflect attention from the problem that he has within his own conference, which is the election of QAnon supporters and adherents. Now, that is a security problem, but he would much rather talk about Elex Swalwell than he would about the QAnon members of his conference.
I want to take a moment to, we like to have some fun and also reflect on some more personal stuff on this show. Happy Hanukkah to you. I know you posted a picture with your wife, Eve, celebrating. Even for those who aren't Jewish, it might be a good time for a celebration of light and hope, right? And of course, family. And as you reflect on this year and your family, what are you thinking about during this Hanukkah?
Hanukkah is also about resilience, about struggle and resilience against the odds. And, I think how fortunate I am that we're a resilient country and that we're a resilient family and that we're getting through this. And I thank God that we're all healthy and hope we stay that way. But I look at it as a time to just enjoy something light, something delicious like latkes, but also following on Thanksgiving to reflect on what I have to be grateful for, and that's an awful lot.
My mom and I make latkes together. My mom really does the work. But a few years ago, I made them on the air, so you see us making them here. So I guess we're going to have to send some to you.
Please, I think you will.
Yeah, my mom would be happy to do that. Happy Hanukkah to you and yours. A happy holiday season to everybody that is watching. Thank you, Congressman. Appreciate your time.
You bet. Thank you.